Good evening and welcome to Crossfire. My goodness, I was talking to a friend of mine who told me the kind of things that happen in Kenya for 1 week take almost 2 lifetimes to happen in other countries. And we're going to be talking about some of these things, these issues that have been taking place in this country on Crossfire tonight. With me in the studio, I have Ahmed Hashi, who's a former ODM spokesman.
Hello.
I have Jennifer Shamalo, who's an advocate of the High Court.
Hi, friend.
And political strategist Tony Gashoka.
Good evening.
And some of the issues that we are talking about, the Deputy Prime Minister Uhuru Kenyatta now says he will not attend the second presidential debate over claims of unfair treatment. And at the same time, there were claims of vote rigging by ODM, saying that some government officials were planning to rig the elections. Plus, the Chief Justice made a statement tonight of claims over his life concerning the Uhuru Ruto case. I don't know where we start. ODM?
I'd like to start with the Chief Justice. Because I would like...
Tony's pet subject.
No, I feel that you cannot divide the person of the Chief Justice from the office that he holds. For the Chief Justice of Kenya to make a statement in public that his life is in danger and goes further to read a statement that implicates people who are very senior in politics and goes further to say that he's going public because he has no confidence that the government is able to deal with the matter, because the statement mixed both the issue of the risk, purported risk to his life, and the statement of a problem he had getting an exit visa or permission to leave the airport for our job. Now, my worry is the Chief Justice, being the head of the judiciary, he carries the aspirations and the confidence of people in the dispensation of justice. It is very easy for him to access the arms of government that he needs to access for any issue that he has got. It is very easy to access international expertise on the source of an email. If today you want to know where an email has come from, if Kenya has no such skills from IT experts, you can get them from the FBI or anywhere in the world. And you would be able in a very short time to trace where this email came from. But to make a statement that tantamounts to accusing of criminal conduct people who are about to face an election and people who are already facing other allegations in international courts.
So you don't think you should have gone public?
I also want to thank Uhuru Kenyatta and William Ruto for their quick response, because they said they have full confidence in the Chief Justice. They have asked the government to investigate those allegations. Yes. But as Tony Gashoka, I find William Mutunga out of order.
Jennifer.
In December of 2012, December 28th to be exact, it was a Sunday, there was an article in the Sunday Nation, and the article was titled, "How to Have a Peaceful Election in 2013, by a gentleman called Randall Smith. He is a columnist for the Sunday Nation. In this article, he made 2 recommendations. One was that special forces come and take Uhuru Kenyatta and William Ruto, special forces, and William Ruto to The Hague if they do not give up their candidature. The second was that we call in United Nations peacekeeping forces to conduct our election so that we can have a peaceful election. Things don't happen in a vacuum. None of these things happen in a vacuum. We have what we're being told during this week, that there's rigging of elections. We then have a statement from a very senior official of the Kenya government. Never forget, we have 3 arms of government, and one of these arms of government is headed by the Chief Justice. He should have never made a statement like that. It is irresponsible, to say the least. He should have called in the investigators and asked for them to investigate. But to go and say Mungiki sent him a threatening letter well after the ruling on Uhuru and Ruto was made, and then tie in the government and Kimemia's office and office of the president, is creating a background as if Mungiki and the government's and the office of the president are one and the same. Yet we know Mungiki is with court. They have declared it openly. So I'm beginning to worry about these utterances, the rigging, the statements made today, and I wonder how much truth there is in Miguna's book, which he released on the weekend, and talked about emails whereby the Chief Justice, who was then not the Chief Justice, was actually consorting with a particular part of a particular political party in this country.
So you think all this is orchestrated?
Divisionary, and is it all orchestrated? is my question.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, government is a formal institution. You need clearance to leave the country. There's no big deal about that. If you're a member of parliament, you report to the speaker. If the judges, the very same judges in the judiciary, will notify the Chief Justice that they have to leave the country. So if he is requested for, who swore him in? Who does he report to? He must report to somebody, so it must be the office of the president. So if some officer asked him whether he had clearance, what was the big deal about that?
I'm surprised that my colleague Shamala, who's a lawyer, and I think you should know better. I'm totally in disagreement with both my colleagues and friends here. I think that we have to understand that there is a concept, and it comes out of the new constitution. There's a separation of powers, the executive,
yes,
the legislature, and the judiciary. The person of the Chief Justice represents what the judiciary is. Any threat to the Chief Justice, any kind of talk that may put his life or his office or his movements
yes,
in danger is a matter of national security. And the Chief Justice has every right to sound the alarm bell and say that there is political football being played with my office. A lot of people in this country, in Kenya, have lost their lives by keeping silent.
yes,
The Chief Justice has been a maverick. When he came to look for this job,
yeah,
most of the people who were there, he told them he didn't want the job. But they said that he was the best candidate, he had the best record, and he had the best mind to do this job. I think it is an ominous sign that this has come on the eve of the elections, 2 weeks before the elections.
Yes.
The second thing I want to say is that the political party court was making a lot of flabbergasting about rigging.
yes,
And many Kenyans thought that this was just another political play in this country. But Kenyans are now looking at this issue and say, the Chief Justice has been threatened. The court is making allegations that they believe that something is the elections are going to be rigged coming in 2013 in the next 2 weeks.
Yes.
I think that the state in this country must take decisive action.
we should not take it
We should
lightly.
not take it lightly. We should not.
And
take
it was
anything.
right for him to
Yes,
come out to
he
the
had
public
every
and say,
right to come out and say what he believed.
Yes.
I don't think this panel should blame the victim
Yes.
for what has happened.
Fred, immediately after the statement by the Chief Justice, in order that you see there can be a choreography, a statement was issued by court, secretariat, and signed by the relevant people. And it said, the Coalition for Reforms and Democracy is appalled by the reluctance of the government to gazette the names of the commissioners of the National Land Commission, despite that being passed by Parliament. The National Land Commission is an important institution which is constitutionally guaranteed. They went further to say in their statement that because the Land Commission has not been gazetted, the emotions of people of the land have been whipped up. They then say in the same statement that they tie that with the reluctance of Uhuru Kenyatta from attending the debate of 25th, which is going to discuss the land question. So in every statement that court makes about the government, it makes it in the same tone about Uhuru Kenyatta, who is an independent candidate running for office. Then they take that and they tie it with criminality. Now look at the sequence of events as Jennifer was trying to tell you. It started first with the ICC question. The ICC question was debated until the court disposed of it. And Uhuru and Ruto were cleared by the judiciary which Mutunga sits upon that they can go ahead and run. And therefore there was nowhere else to run. Then they brought the issue of rigging. The issue of rigging, as you well know, brought bloodshed here in 2007, 2008. They started attacking the integrity of the IEBC, the integrity of everything, and saying that the government of Kenya is going to rig in Jubilee. That is the second point that they made. In order that they are preparing the people of Kenya, if they are defeated in an election, not to accept. Lastly and finally,
yes,
because I had him on the issue of land, because we're talking about the synergy. The Chief Justice will be asked to adjudicate on some of these matters. The matter of the land reform was that the court order was not being respected by the president, i.e. the impunity was being taken by the executive. But how then can the Chief Justice himself act in impunity? How can he accuse a person in public?
Fred,
how?
Fred, I think we have to be very, very careful about what we say on national television. I think that the Chief Justice is a pillar of the way forward to this country. Not the person of, say, the
position.
The office.
Yes.
The man is a maverick and a man of integrity. And that is the fundamental thing that we wanted in that office. If we play political football with the Chief Justice of this country, what is it we're going to do next? If you try and politicize this issue, it means that any word or any judgment that comes from that Chief Justice or the Supreme Court becomes a joke. So I think that Kenyans ought to be extremely careful. We have to be responsible with what we were to say. If you're going to criticize the Chief Justice, you have every right to criticize him. But on this issue, the Chief Justice has said that he feels his life is in danger. He is an educated man. He holds a doctorate in laws. He cannot just go and say these things without having substantive, can I just finish this point, Shamala? Without substantive evidence or sense and sensibility about his life. Yes. And let me add another thing. I want to commend the Independent Electoral Commission. I think that the chairman, Mr. Isaac, has put his foot down and he has categorically said that he's the man who's going to run the show. And we ought to support this young man because the responsibilities that are going to be put on his shoulders come the next elections are huge.
Okay, I don't know what Isaac Hassan has to do with this conversation. We're talking about the Chief Justice specifically. Just like his office is a very high office, so are the lives of Kenyans. And the Chief Justice should know that if something as serious as a threat has been made upon his life, then he should report it to the authorities. He calls a press conference, he releases a statement, and all that succeeds in doing is heightening the tensions in this country, which I think was what it was intended to do anyway, is to heighten the tensions, is to create a situation in this country.
So you don't believe there was any
create a situation in this country whereby, let me finish, you had your chance, now let me talk, please. Create a situation whereby we say that there is going to be rigging in the elections. This rigging story has been going on since 2002. In 2002, we were told the election was going to be rigged and that there was going to be a 1 million-man march to State House. Moi graciously handed over and Uhuru graciously conceded defeat. And Rainbow the Rainbow Coalition came in. In 2007, again, there was every election, there's allegations of rigging. Now, you know what? Address the allegations and give us the facts. You know, this business of people sat here and people sat there and people did this and we don't want to hear it anymore. And then at the background of threats of Mungiki, you are it is called creating a background of acceptance.
So you don't believe this actually happened?
I'm not saying I don't believe it. I'm saying it is irresponsible of the Chief Justice to send out this statement it's not by, how come? I don't believe in coincidences.
Yes.
You state that Kimemia, Office of the President, the military, etc., you're heightening the tensions in this country, are colluding with one candidate. First, we were told that they were with Musalia Mudavadi. Now we're told they're with Uhuru.
I need to
Let me tell you, Ahmed Hashi, every time I'm making a point very strongly on Crossfire, he misbehaves like Robert Ndolo used to misbehave here. Oh, calm down, be relaxed, and so on. Because he is not in political trouble that we are in. The political trouble we are in is a system that's surrounding the democratic expression of Kenyans. And unless you come out and speak about it, you become somehow loud. When Willie Mutunga speaks about it, it's okay. Now, let me tell you, there's something called the red herring defense. A red herring is a fish that moves in all kinds of directions. That is what he's talking about. We had a deputy chief justice in this country, Nancy Baraza, who was accused by a common watchwoman, and she faced the wrath of the law. That same Dr. Mutunga is the one who wrote her letter of suspension. She was tried and found guilty, a lady of dignity and of standing in this nation. But because she's not Willie Mutunga, she's not an activist of the NGOs, she can go and she can be damned, and Mutunga said no word about it. But when Mutunga thinks that he himself is a gun upon himself, that he can stand up because he's Chief Justice, not in his capacity as a judicial officer. He has no information or evidence of who threatened him. And he tells the country that he's been threatened by Uhuru Kenyatta and Ruto and that they're going to kill him. And these are people... No, there's a letter. There's a letter. Let me be very clear. No, I want... I want to be very, very clear. He read a statement. And in the last statement, he read a letter. The letter was an alleged email that was sent to him by Mungeki, and that he would be killed if he doesn't leave Uhuru alone. If he interferes in the Uhuru case. In other words, if he does his judicial work and Uhuru is somehow allowed to go through, his life is in danger. He is therefore making ordinary people see the tie. And that is why, as a judge, he should never have read that letter. And I am saying that if Nancy Baraza was treated by the same sword, Willie Mutunga should be suspended. In my view, he should never sit on any matter that regards Uhuru or Ruto, because he certainly is biased.